Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yo Nityamachyadapadambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohata Saditarani Trunaya Mene Asmad Guroho Bhagavato Siddhaye Kusindoho Ramanujasya Charano Sharanam Prapadhye. Yasya Smarnamatrena Dvaitavasana Paramuchyate Bodhatmakaya Namastasmai Bhagavate Shri Ramanamarshye. Hridakashe Sada Bhantam Shantam Anandarupinam Jnanabanamaham Bande Sadgurum Shri Satyasayinam Mantaryaminam. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha. For 1 year, the divine being that appeared as Krishna also appeared as all the cowherd boys and all the calves, giving extraordinarily inexplicable delight, something that nobody could explain, logically understand. The ananda that was given to all the mothers. For 1 year, Yashoda's house did not have visitors. So strange to her. Every day they would find some excuse or the other to make themselves present, to spend time with Krishna. But for 1 whole year, everybody suddenly seemed content to be in their own homes, with their own children. Because it was not really their child, it was Krishna in that form. We would remember, and I hope you would, I do, that when Bhagavan appeared in front of Vasudeva and Devaki, he said to them, do not forget, make an attempt to remember Chintayantau Kritasnehau. He expected them to make the effort to remember his divinity. Because otherwise he would keep it hidden, not reveal it. But in the case of these mothers, they did not know that this child that looks exactly like their own child is not their child but Krishna himself. They did not know that. But the ananda they felt. They felt the ananda, they felt that prema. This story really is so significant because it tells us, it shows us that if you want to feel ananda, bliss, prema is the key to it. Love is the key to it. Not effort, love. Because these mothers had love for Krishna in the first place. A love that transcended the natural attachment that they had for their own children. This is where the gopis excel. This is where the gopis excelled. Any mother would love her child the most. It is a natural instinct that has been instilled into the female of every species by Mother Nature herself. So that the child is protected. I saw a little clip the other day of mothers protecting their children in the wild. It was beautiful. There was a small baby elephant that had been caught by a crocodile, and this mother comes and kicks the crocodile out. I don't know how much was AI. Nowadays everything is But the sentiment was beautiful. There was another case where a lion was trying to capture a little buffalo calf, wild buffalo calf, and the mother Nilgai comes and she, with her horns, she flings the lion aside. Natural predators they are, and yet when it comes to the protection of their children, the mothers are willing to go to any extent. This is natural, this is nature-driven instinct. But when Krishna came into the picture, these mothers were able to overcome their natural instincts and love Krishna more. That was the secret of all of Vraja, in fact. Of all the gopis and the gopas of Vraja, this is the secret, that they were able to overcome their natural urges, their natural instincts, and transform, transmute, channel everything towards Krishna. Ananda is not a product of effort. Bliss is not the product of intense effort. It is not required. You could possibly do it, but in the end, it is only going to come because of love. Bliss is not the product of effort. Bliss is a natural consequence of love for God. Not any other love, only love for God. Because we've already discussed this. The other love that we feel, it doesn't even fall under the nomenclature or definition of what prema is. Tat sukha sukitvam. Narada in Bhakti Sutra describes the nature of prema as tat sukha sukitvam, finding delight in the joy of the beloved. Not deriving joy from the beloved, but giving joy to the beloved and finding joy in his joy. That is prema. Unfortunately, in our human relationships, as much as we want to do it, we cannot do it. We simply cannot, because the love that comes from both sides is tainted. You may want to love somebody unconditionally, but they do not love you unconditionally. Their conditions are already attached to the prema that they give you. Selfishness is inherent in the love that they give you, no matter who it is. People cannot help it. But Bhagavan is not like that. The love that comes from God is always pure. And so when you receive that pure prema from Him, you know for once there is a chance for you to give that prema back without that selfishness. Of course, you could still be selfish there, but here is a chance that we would not get in any other relationship in this world. This opportunity for once to overcome our natural instincts of selfishness. Because we are exposed to the purity of that prema here. It seeks nothing for itself. It seeks nothing for itself because it already has everything. God's selflessness is based on the fact that He needs nothing. It is an undeniable logic. It is an undeniable logic. He doesn't need anything. So when He loves you, it is not because He wants something from you. He has it already. Then why does He love you? Because He loves you. That is all that you can talk about. This is the extent of selflessness in His prema. And so when we receive that selfless love from Him, we learn what it is. We know now how to give it back to Him. Nowhere else will it work. And so these mothers were receiving suddenly this. It is not that the mothers loved these children suddenly differently. The boy that came home gave her selfless love. The boy that left home that morning had given selfish love. But that boy that came home that evening gave selfless love. Naturally, it elicited that same selfless love towards the child. That was the secret. For one whole year, all the mothers of Vrindavanam, of Vrajabhumi, suddenly were receiving this utterly pure prema, which previously would only be available at Nandagopa's address. Almost 1 year, 360 days have elapsed out of 365. 4 or 5 days left before the year ends. Krishna and the boys, along with Balarama at this time, had all gone to graze calves as usual. And this time they had strayed a little bit because in this 1 year they had grown up. They've all become 6 years old now. So, accompanied by their dads, they went to Govardhan. And the boys were grazing the calves at the foothills of Govardhana. And the men had driven their cattle up the slopes of Govardhan. And all the cows, as they were coming down, suddenly caught sight of their calves, the ones that are being herded by Krishnas, by the Krishnas. Krishna is singular, Krishna is also plural in this world. Krishna and all the other Krishnas were herding the Krishnas. What are those calves? They are also Krishnas only. Appo, the doer is Brahman, the doing is Brahman, the deed is Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagnau, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahmakarma Samadhina. Harir Data, Harir Bhokta, Harir Annam. We say slokas that the fire is Brahman, the person who is putting the offering into the fire is Brahman, the offering is Brahman, the act of offering is Brahman. Here we see it actually, Upanishad is merely abstracting there. Merely saying something which is so abstract that most people can't get it. What does it mean? How does it mean? This is Brahman, that is Brahman. What is this Brahman, that Brahman? How can there be this and that if both are Brahman? Then why even call this and that? Krishna demonstrates it. And who is he demonstrating it to? Not to Pandits, not to Vedic scholars. He is demonstrating it to Brahma himself. He is herding himself along with himself. And the cows, when they caught sight of their calves, came hurtling down the slopes, unmindful of the rocks and the pitfalls in the way. They came running down. Because they couldn't hold themselves from these calves, Krishna calves. The cowherds lost control of their cows. They were filled with anger and shame because a cowherd's greatest capacity is herding the cow. If he loses control of the cow, what else does he have? So they came running down, angry at the boys, thinking, whenever something goes wrong, when we are not able to do something properly, we find whom to blame. So when the cows escaped the control of the cowherds said, these useless fellows, why did they bring the calves here? The cows, on seeing the calves are running, they should have taken the calves somewhere else. And with anger they came down. The moment they saw their sons, they immediately lost all their anger, threw their sticks away, hugged their children, had tears in their eyes, and Krishna boys. And the cows that had come down came to Krishna calves and started to lick them and started to give milk to them, although these were weaned calves. These calves have already been weaned away from mother's milk. They were now grazing on grass. The calves that are waiting at home are the ones that should be given milk. The mother cow, in nature, mother will push aside the older calf and say, no, go, I'm not giving milk to you. And she will choose to give milk to the younger ones. Again, this is natural, but these natural instincts are reversed here. So the cows are behaving unnaturally, the fathers are behaving unnaturally. Balarama is watching all of this. What is going on here? What's going on? He takes a good long hard look at the cowboys and the calves. The cowboys and the cow kids, what shall we call them? And he says, hang on a moment. There's a very interesting revelation in Bhagavatam. Somebody was asking me a question this morning and the answer comes here. He takes a look at the boys and he says, these are not the devas. He looks at the calves and says, these are not the rishis. Na sureshaha, na rishayo. These are not the devas, because devas have become boys. Rishis have become calves. What happened? What happened to the devas who usually are in the form of these cowboys? What happened to the rishis who are in the form of these calves and the children? They're all, he can only see Krishna everywhere. He says, Krishna, what's going on? What happened? What did I miss? How long have I missed this? You missed this for about a year. What happened? Brahma happened. Brahma came and did this. Oh, okay. How long is this drama going to go? It's almost finished. Brahma is coming back. Why did Brahma take so long? What Brahma did was, Brahma took the boys and the calves and kept them somewhere and turned. That's all. He just put them and turned. But in the time it takes for him to put it there and turns, a whole year has elapsed. Not that he was slow. Time passes differently in Brahmaloka compared to Bhuloka. Our time flies very quickly. We think we are long-lived. We are like mayflies in Brahma's eyes. That's why Brahma is so busy. Brahma is 24 hours, he is busy. His 24 hours he is busy because we keep dropping dead and he needs to keep creating, because before he can put the pen, he's just written our name. By the time he's finished writing our name, we have died and a new name has to be written because the next birth has been taken. That is why he needs 4 heads, quad core. In the time it has taken him, a truti, a moment, has been 1 year here. By the time he turns back, he finds that he sees that 6-year-old boys and 2-year-old calves are all playing, gambling around. Brahma had a doubt. What happened? Didn't I keep them safe? So he had 4 faces. He didn't have to turn back again. He just looked through that face. With that face, he is able to see the place where he has kept these boys. They are still sleeping there. With this face, he is able to see this entire group is playing here. He is the exact same. Although he is the creator, he could not tell the difference which is the original and which is the duplicate. And even as he is watching, all of a sudden, all the boys disappear, all the calves disappear. In the place where each boy and each calf stood, there stands the divine image of the Lord with 4 arms, Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma, with his crown and with his earrings and with the entire work, Sakshat Sriman Narayana standing there, and surrounding each of those Narayanas is another individual Brahma, and Shiva, several Devas, several planetary systems. All of this is seeing. As many boys, so many Brahmas. As many calves, so many Brahmas. Brahma thought, I am one and one alone. Suddenly he sees so many Brahmas, he has a Brahma. What is going on? Am I completely losing it now? And the next instant, all of that also vanishes. In this place of everything, he sees one small 5-year-old child with a ball of curd rice in his hand, a little bit of fruit tucked in between the fingers, looking around saying, oh my friends, where are you? Oh calves, where have you gone? Looking forlorn, panic on his face, a child looking, searching. Brahma is utterly confused now. He does not know what's going on. Then suddenly all of that also vanishes. Brahma couldn't take it anymore. He jumps down from his Hamsa Pakshi, Hamsa Vahana, comes running to Bhagavan. Comes and falls at his feet. What happened to all the others, we do not know. Bhagavan has created a separate space and a separate time where only he and Brahma are. Nobody else is there in that. What is impossible for him? Only Brahma, and he falls at the Lord's feet. Brahma falls at the Lord's feet. And with the tears coming down from his eyes, he washes the feet of the Lord and addresses him in a glorious hymn. Addresses him with a hymn. Now mediate abravabhushe tadidamvaraya gunjavatamsa paripichalasal mukhaya Valnyasraje kavalavetra vishana venu lakshmashriye mritupade pashupangajaya. Now mediate. I salute you. When Brahma falls at Bhagavan's feet, who does he salute? Na Pashupangajaya. Very nice term he chooses for Bhagavan. Bhagavan, who is the supreme Lord and Master of the universe, he calls him Pashupangajaya. O cowherd's son. Pashupa means cowherd. Angajaya means son, unto the son. Pashupangaja means the son of cowherd, Nandagopa's son. Doesn't Brahma know who he is? Shouldn't he have said Vaikuntapathe, Vaikuntanatha, Lokanatha, Jagannatha, Sakshat Sriman Narayana, etc.? Why should he call him cowherd's son? Because Brahma has learned the lesson the hard way. In the previous avatara, after Ravana was killed, Bhagavan wanted Sita to go into the fire and so on. So all the devas came there, Brahma came there and said, what is going on? What has happened? Have you forgotten who you are? What is all this drama for? Then Brahma asks. You are Sakshat Sriman Narayana. Then Brahma says. Bhagavan looks up and says, what are you talking about? Atmanam manusham manye ramam dasharathatmajam. I consider myself to be a human being. My name is Rama. I am the son of Dasharatha. No, you are Sakshat Brahman. You are Narayana. What are you talking about? So Brahma has learned his lesson. This time I will not go and jump the gun and say you are Narayana. I will call him cowherd's son. Dasharathatmaja na Pashupangajatmaja. Pashupatmaja na nan solren. Then if he wants to, then let there be a mic drop moment. What cowherd's son? I am Narayana. So in order to not make the same mistake, he calls him, because now you are in this form, I might as well adhere to the norms and call you based on the form in which you are. Now meetyate abravabhushe tadidambaraya gunjavatam sa paripichalasal mukhaya Vanyasraje kavalavetra vishana venu lakshmashriye mridupade pashupangajaya. I salute you, Bhagavan, who have taken the form of this cowherd's son. But what a wondrous form you are presenting in front of me. Abravabhushe, the body is like a dark rain cloud. Bhagavan's body was like a dark rain cloud. That was the complexion that he had chosen. But it was not a random choice. It symbolized something. What does the dark rain cloud do? Waiting to empty its contents onto us. Like that, this one is also like a dark rain cloud. What is he filled with? Sandra Ananda Vabodhatmakam. Anandam, more Anandam has been taken. Ananda is nothing but prema. It has been taken and it has been compressed and compressed more and compressed more. That is why it is becoming darker and darker, because of how dense it is. When blood rushes through the face becomes a bit dark. No? Krishna was originally fair. But so much Ananda was compacted, so much was compacted, layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of Ananda and Prema were compacted into it, that it appeared dark. Doesn't the ocean appear dark? Is the ocean dark? It is transparent. And why does it appear dark? There is so much volume of water, it appears dark. There is so much volume of prema and ananda in this one little form that it appears dark. Without understanding this, people think he is dark in color. Abravabhushe, and upon that dark rain cloud like body which is willing and waiting to shower all the prema upon us. Prema Sudhavaru Shimpamu Cheyaga Ganamu Cheyagare Krishna. Tadidambaraya. And upon the dark rain cloud like body, like a lightning flashing across that rain cloud, there is his clothes that he is wearing around his waist, yellow. That yellow sets off contrast so beautifully against that body that it looks like a streak of lightning shining forth behind the rain cloud. Gunjavatam sa. Gunja, there's beads, berry beads, small berries had been fashioned by him into earrings. Paripichalasal mukhaya, peacock feathers are adorning the thick, luscious curls. Lasal mukhaya, the faces being so resplendent with joy from inside. The face is shining, and the reason why the face is shining is because Ananda is there in the heart. When the Ananda is in the heart, the face will shine, eyes will shine. Vanyasrache, and around his neck there is a random collection of wild flowers fashioned into a garland. All colors, it's a collage of colors, a mayhem of colors. All the wild flowers have been taken and made into a garland, and he's wearing it around his neck. Vanyasraje kavala vetra vishana venuhu. And 4 things he's got in his arm, in his hands. Narayana in his original form has got 4 things in his arms. Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. Sri Krishna has got 4 things in a kavala. A little morsel of food in his hand. A little curd rice in his hand. Udupi Krishna will be standing like this with a little butter in his hand. Like the kavala, vetra, the stick under his armpit. Vishana, the bugle hanging from one side. Venu, the flute. And all of that has come together to form Lakshma Shriye. It has all come together to form such beauty, such charm, such attractiveness in one form. Mridupade, with soft feet. Pashupangajaya. Bhagavan's feet are very, very soft. Very, very soft they are. Do you know why they are so soft? Yogi Hridyanagamyam. Because yogis are positioning him in the lotus of their heart. Bhaktas are always having him in the lotuses of their heart. Bhagavan is so considerate that he should not hurt our heart, so his feet are so soft. If his feet are hard and if he stands with that hard feet on our heart, what will happen to our hearts? He knows my bhaktas will treasure me in their heart, so I have to be extremely soft and delicate so that I don't hurt them. And when we have him in our hearts, we are wondering, am I hurting you by any chance? You're so soft. Shuka says of Sri Ramachandra, when Rama, in describing Rama walking into the forest, he says, followed by Sita, and Sita would be scared. When Rama would lie down, Sita would be scared to press his feet because her tender fingers would leave marks on Rama's feet. That's how Komalam Rama's feet were. Seems like an exaggeration. The real reason is Bhagavan is supremely soft, supremely suave, supremely smooth, not because he wants to be like that, because he needs to reside in our hearts. He doesn't want to cause us any pain. When he enters into our minds, when he enters into our thoughts, when he enters into our heart, we should only feel bliss and ananda, not pain. Therefore, he makes himself so blissful. Asyapi deva vabhushaha madanugrahasya svechamayasya natu bhutamayasya kopi neshe mahi avasitu manasantarena sakshat tvayaiva kimutatma sukhanubhute. Asyapi deva vabhushaha, this divine form of yours that you have adopted, Bhagavan. Mad anugrahasya svechamayasya, you have taken this form in order to shower your grace upon devotees like me. What shall we speak of this form? Svechamayasya, it is a form that you have fashioned out of your own free will. There is no genetics involved here. There is no karma involved here. Of his own freedom, of his own free will, Krishna has chosen a form. Na bhutamayasya, it is not made up of the 5 elements like how our bodies are made up of. It is not a mrinmaya shariram, it is a chinmaya shariram. Mrinmaya shariram is a body made up of the 5 elements. Chinmaya shariram is a body made up of Chaitanyam itself. How can I understand this? Because I can only deal with bodies that I have created. I create bodies using the raw materials called the 5 elements, and I fashion bodies like that. This body is beyond that. But he is not talking about Vaikuntha. He is talking about Krishna in Vrindavana. Hey, in Vrindavan, Krishna is eating the food that is made from the 5 elements, isn't it? Shouldn't his body be made up of 5 elements? Not so. Because if the 5 elements came together, they will not be able to produce such attraction ever. The attraction in this form is not because of the successful combination of the elements. That reminds me of words from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. For in him the elements were so perfectly combined that all nature might stand up and say, "This is a man." For in him all elements were so combined that all nature might stand up and say, "This is a man," they say of in Julius Caesar. Of Brutus, interestingly. Mark Antony speaks of it. But this is not like that. Here, there are no elements here. This is a combination of something that is beyond all the elements, that Brahma would stand up and say, "This is God." Although it looks like a small cowherd boy, it is not a man. That all nature and all the creator of nature himself might stand up and declare, "This is God." How am I to understand this? Jnane prayasam udapasya namantayeva jivalti sanmukaritam bhavadiya vartam sthane stitaha shrutigatam tanuvang manobhirye prayasho ajitajitopyasi traistrilokyam. After having seen what you do with these boys and what you do with these cows and what you do with all of these cowherd men and women of this hamlet, I realize that it is a waste to control one's senses and pursue Atma and so on and so forth. Jnane prayasam udapasya, they completely give up all this pursuit of jnana and so on. Namantayeva, they simply worship you. Jivanti, they live. How na? Sadmukaritam bhavadiyavartam, listening to stories of yours told by those who are living in you. Satmukaritam, the Sat from the mouth of the holy ones, simply listening to your glory, simply listening to your stories, living in whatever station and status life has kept us in. Sthane stitaha. Appadina sthane stitahana, all of you are, for instance, grihasthas, householders or brahmacharis. That is your position. You just stay in that position. You don't move to the next position of sannyasa even, not necessary. Sannyasa is necessary in order to pursue Vedanta. Sannyasa is necessary if you want to pursue Vedanta. Vedanta means end of Veda. End of Veda is somewhere there. In order to pursue that, you have to go from here to there by taking sannyasa. What has happened in this case now? That which is standing beyond the end of the Vedas has come and dancing with them. So why do they need to go anywhere? Sthane stitaha. They are saying bhaktas have got a very unique privilege. They don't need to go anywhere because he comes for them. They do not need to go anywhere. He comes for them. The Vrindavanavasis did not leave Vrindavan. He came to Vrindavan. Jnane prayasam udhapasya. Giving up all those pursuits where sadhanai shayyavum nan vendum. Even to do sadhana, there is an ego required to do sadhana, but to simply abide in prema, what is required? Only grace is required. அவன் பதத்தினில் அமரவோ அருள் வேண்டும். By simply staying in their own place and listening to your stories. Shruti gadal tanuvak manobihi, and they've given over to you their bodies, their minds, their words, everything belongs to you. These people, Ajita, oh unconquerable one, they are able to conquer you also. And Brahma is watching the way these uncles and aunties of Raja are dealing. Hey Krishna, come here. He comes running. Yes, uncle. What do you call? You know, when you're on your way, no? Can you go and tell this to somebody? Sure. At their beck and call. Brahma is wondering, when have I ever had such an opportunity? Who dare, when you go to that place, depending on where he is also. If you go there, you cannot call, hey Narayana, come here. Understanding like that. There is only one God. In all of our dharma, there is only one form of God which we can approach with such ease as only Krishna. There's only Krishna. When it comes to Krishna, we will say, Krishnan. This rascal did all this, and we can say about Krishna. We cannot speak about like that. The same Krishna who came as Rama, we cannot speak about in that form. And depending upon how he is. It depends on how he is. For instance, I am sitting here in this posture. I am sitting here. No, my family is here. They can't come up and say, Appa. They can't. In the position in which I am sitting, they have to abide by the Maryada, Sabha Maryada, and sit there, and that quietly they should also sit. After everything is over, maybe they can come and say, Appa. But until then, they have to also abide by it, isn't it? The same way, when he comes as Rama, when he comes as Narayana, when he comes as Narasimha, when he comes in any other form, everybody has to stand still like this. When he comes as Krishna, hey Krishna, come here. Shall I tie you up? He is looking and saying, when you are happy to come and do all of this to them, why should I leave this and go and do something else? Makes sense. Yeah? Because with prema, there is no doing. There is no doing at all in prema. If you think there is something to be done in prema, you have gotten prema completely wrong. People think, oh, we should do japa, we should chant the name, we should do dhyana and such nonsense. It is all nonsense. Nothing is required in prema. Prema is its own category altogether. The premi might chant the name, but that is because of overabundance of prema. He doesn't know what to do. It builds up in him, and the only way in which he can give a little vent to it, like a pressure cooker whistling, is by saying Krishna. He calls out Krishna, not because he's doing japa of Krishna Nama. He can't contain it within him anymore. He has been keeping it inside. That name has been fermenting inside him, as it were, growing and growing inside him. He is not able to hold it anymore. The pressure is too much. Krishna, and he gives a vent to it. That is how the name comes out. Premis are different. Gopis are different. Which Gopika had a japamala in hand? Did she need a japamala? Swason ki mala mein. Swasha was the mala for them. Breath was the mala. Every breath was going Krishna, 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 Krishna. Breath was resounding with Krishna Nama. They did not need a japamala in their hand. They did not need to sit in meditation because they were never out of meditation. Whatever they were doing was meditation, eating meditation, walking meditation, talking meditation, sitting meditation. Everything was meditation for them because minds never went away from Krishna. What else is meditation but the mind fixated upon Him? They say, no, breakfast of the champions. Prema is the way of the champions. Oh, I don't have prema, what to do? But do some sadhana. Do some sadhana. But premis don't need to do sadhana. The prema cannot be called a sadhana also. Prema is sadhyam. Prema is that which has to be attained. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na soshati na gangshati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. Bhagavan says in the Gita, in the 18th chapter of the Gita, right at the end he says this. He says, what happens to those who have struggled through various means and have attained something? Brahmabhuta they became. What happened as a result of madbhaktim labate param? Then they attained real bhakti towards me. Because they found out at the end of all of this, what is the point now? To have bhakti towards Him. To have prema towards Him. Even if they do not consider a God, they will still consider their own guru and have guru bhakti towards him. Adhu bhakti dhane kadashila. Even the jnani has guru bhakti, if nothing else. Nisargadatta Maharaj was such a great jnani. And every evening he would wave incense and arati to several pictures and clang huge cymbals and sing bhajans out of tune. And those who went there to listen to him and ask questions to him had to necessarily put up with this ritual. So one day somebody went and asked him, maybe just to see if he can stop and they can get out of it. Why do you need to do all this? You have realized the truth. Have you not realized the truth? Then why do you need to do all this arati and clanging of this and so on? His answer was very simple. My guru told me to do it. I don't care for these gods, but my guru told me to do it, so I'm doing it. He never told me to stop, so I'm doing it. So no matter what jnana you attain, in the end you still are bound by prema to somebody. If nobody else, to your own guru. Prema is the undercurrent. This divine love is the life breath of sadhana, of spirituality. There cannot be a spirituality without prema in it. If there is a spirituality without prema, know it to be a pseudo spirituality. It is not spirituality at all. Because God is love. What God then are you trying to seek when He is prema itself? In the entirety of Aksharamanamalai, Ramana Bhagavan refers to one word repeatedly. He calls it Arul, Arul, Arul. Arul is prema only. Arul is nothing but prema. When it comes from Him, we call it grace. When it comes from us, we call it devotion. It is the same thing. The love that comes from Him is called as grace. The love that goes from us is called as prayer. It is called as devotion. It is prema only. He is prema. Shreyasritim bhakti mudasyate vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodhalabdhaye teshamasau kleshalaye vasishyate nanyadyata Stulatushavagatinam. Those who leave aside this prema, those who leave aside this bhakti, and they are only interested in kevala bodhalabdhaye, are only interested in attaining jnana, bodha. Brahma says, for them, teshamasau kleshalaye vasishyate, only exertion is their lot. Only vain struggle is their lot. It is like beating empty husks of paddy. Paddy is beaten to separate the husk and the rice grains. After the rice grains have been separated, are you going to gain anything by continuously beating that paddy husks? Pureha Brahmal Bhumal Bhagavopi Yogil Tvadarpiteha Nija Karma Labdaya Vibhudya Bhaktiyaiva Katopanitaya Prapedirenjochutate Gatim Para. तथापि भूमल् महिमा गुणस्य ते विभोद्धुमर्हत्यमलान्तरात्मभिः अविक्रियात् स्वानुभवात रूपतो ह्यनन्यबोध्यात्मतया न चान्यथा. Brahma doesn't deny it. He says there may be very, very few people. Here and there, there may nevertheless be such people who will be able to attain that supreme jnana about you. But then when we begin to count those numbers, we find them few and far between. On the other hand, we find those who have approached you through bhakti have easily gained you. He is not denying the other path. Who can deny the other paths? All of those paths have come from Bhagavan only. No? Jnana, yoga, all the paths are from Bhagavan only. He has created those paths. Karma Marga is created by him, Jnana Marga is created by him, Bhakti Marga is created by him. So he says to Uddhava, in Ekadasha Skandam, he himself admits that I created 3 paths, he says. Bhagavan himself says, I created 3 major paths. All the other subsidiary paths come under one of these 3 paths. Jnana, Karma, Bhakti are the 3 paths he said he has created. He has created them. But Brahma has done an analysis of all these paths because, when you are sitting there for such a long time, you have to do something, fill your time with something. So he decided to start a new hobby. One of his projects, several projects like that he has done. One project he started, the analysis of the various spiritual paths. PhD research project. He would often hold symposiums, sadhas. All the rishis will all get together in Brahmaloka. Very often it would happen, Puranas speak about it. They will all discuss various such topics. So on occasion he called all of them and they were discussing best paths. So they looked statistics, graphs, PowerPoint presentations, everything was done. These are the statistics related to Jnana Marga. He had deputed each one to do presentation on that. One group went and did Jnana Marga and they presented it. Statistics please. So they presented the statistics over 4 yugas. Let's take a 4 yuga sample. And the experiment has to be done properly. You have to have a long period of time. So much population, so many candidates, looking at all of them. How many Jnana Marga, Bhakti Marga, Karma Marga, and Bhakti Marga, the numbers are climbing and climbing and climbing and never stopping. In the end, having looked at all of that, he said, look, all the Margas eventually work. All of them lead to God. All roads lead to Rome. Everything leads to God, but some paths are more leading to God than the others. They all lead to Him, but some are easier to deal with. They may all lead to Him, but some are easier to deal with. When it is bhakti, it is easy. Other margas, like conditions are too many. Do you realize that conditions, you have to get rid of, I spoke about all the 6 enemies. You have to get rid of all of them. You have to control your senses. You can't let your senses go free. Ellam moocha adakki. Veli vishayam vittu vilangum arunesha vali adakka nirkum manattal ulamadanal unnai dhyanittu yogi oli kaanum. You have to leave aside all the objects of the senses. The mind has to be controlled. Breath has to be controlled. One-pointedly, jitasane, jitaswase. Then when you focus, you may be able to see the light inside. Pashyantu te. Those who are able to see, maybe they will be able to see. Ana. Anybody can see. Lochana chamatkara bhuyat. Tadeva lochana chamatkara bhuyat. Kalindi buline. Kimapi neelam maho davati. Hey, can you not see this Krishna? Can you see this Krishna? Is there anybody who is not able to see this Krishna? Is he not shining like a blue light? Kimapi neelam maho tishtati. Irke nikkarde, teriyarde. Paatutame, we've seen him. Now see the blue light inside you. Which of you have seen the blue light inside you? Tell me. Blue light is standing here. Which of you have seen the blue light inside you? No, I don't know. I have not seen what blue light you are talking about. This is seen. Tattenu kampamsu samikshamano bunjana yeva atmakritam vipakam hritvak vapurbir vidadal namaste Jeeve tayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. People want mukti. Brahma says, yes, people want mukti. I also understand they want mukti, but they also need to be eligible for mukti. That they don't realize. What do you want? I want mukti. Are you qualified for it? I don't know. What do you do to be qualified? Dayabak, the rightful heir for mukti. Who is the one who is the rightful heir of mukti? Now Brahma tells us here, Tattenu kampam susamikshamano. Those who are simply looking at your compassion. Samikshamana, simply looking all the time, considering only one thing, your compassion, your prema, your prema, your prema. Krishna. Tattenu kampam samikshamana bhunjana eva atmakritam vipakam. In the meantime, our karma, whatever we have done as part of our karma in the past births is coming to bear fruit. Let it be. Let it be. I told you, bhaktas have got something very unique. Those who follow Jnana Marga have to leave the world. Get rid of the world. Those who follow Karma Marga have to live in the world and do their actions in such a way that they can emancipate. Bhaktas don't have a thought for the world. What world? What world? They are in their own world. What is their world? They are always in Vrindavan only. Mero man, they are saying, Vrindavan me atko. Mero man hari charanan me atko. My mind is stuck in Vrindavan. Body may be wherever, but mind is in Vrindavan. Vrindavan ke kunj galine me. It is always roaming around in Vrindavan. They are not able to come out of Vrindavan. They are living in their own Vrindavan world. Bunjaneva atmakritam vipakam. Whenever something happens to them in their life, they just simply thinking about it. This is another way to come to Krishna. Another way to love Krishna. Something is happening in my life. So what? Let it happen. For me, Krishna only. Hridvak vapurbir vidadan namaste. They have handed over to you Hrit Vak Vapurhu. Unnidathil oppuvitta ullattal eppozhudum unnai kandu ellamum munnuruvai anniyamil anbu seyyum annon Arunachala velhu munnil aande. Ramana Bhagavan, at the end of the Arunachala Pancharattanam, Anjiti Jerudu Rattanam pole unna vekkirar. Those who know Carnatic music may be aware of Pancharatana Kritis of Tyagaraja. And the fifth one of them is supposed to be the best of them, the most difficult of them all. Endaro Mahanubhavalu. The fifth one, the highest arkum, Sri Ragathila. And the Madri Bhagavaname, he is speaking about all these things. And finally, fifth verse, Bhagavan is giving something beautiful. Ramana Bhagavan. Enna solran? Unnidathil oppuvaitha ullattal hridvak vapurbihi vidadhane namaste. Unnidathil oppuvaitha ullattal, by handing over their mind and hearts and words over to you, Krishna. Eppozhudum unnai kandu ellamum munnuruvai. After having handed over to you their heart, their words, their minds, their sight, everything that they see is you. Everywhere they turn, they see you alone. Anniyamil anbu seyyum annon. They do ananya bhakti. They do not know anything other than you. They cannot perceive anything other than you. Everything to them is Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. What happens to them now? They have won. Velhum sa jayatyarunachala. Jayati, they have won. They have conquered. Brahma says the same thing. Jivetayo muktipade sadayabak. They are the rightful, qualified heirs of mukti, of moksha, who are living their lives in this manner. Simply looking at your compassion and compassion alone. Out of the ignorance, my own ignorance, I have tried to test you. I have tried to take away these kids and these calves, and I have tried to play with you. Bhagavan, forgive my ignorance. I am but your child, just as the mother would forgive her baby kicking her inside the stomach. On the other hand, she will feel very happy whenever the child from inside kicks. It will cause a little pain, but she won't be angry with the child. Instead, she will put her hand over her distended belly and give it a nice caress. Oh. Adamadri, consider my misdemeanor also as the kicks of your own child. Koveti Bhumal Bhagavan Paratman Yogeshwara Uti Bhavatastrilokyam Kvava Katam Va Kativa Kadeti Vistarayal Kridasi Yogamayam. Only 6 years have elapsed since you have incarnated upon this earth, Bhagavane, but already one thing I can conclude. Brahma is saying, one thing I can conclude. That I cannot conclude anything about you. I conclude one thing, this one I know for sure, I cannot know anything about you for sure. Ko veti, who knows? Ko veti, who knows? Bhuman, Supreme One. Bhagavan, oh dear Lord. Paramatman, oh Supreme Soul. Yogeshwara, oh Lord of Yoga. Itna per chol raha parunga. Bhuman, Bhagavan, Paramatman, Yogeshwara. Ko veti bhavata uti. Who knows your leelas? Who can understand your leelas, your pastimes? Trilokyam, in all the three worlds. If Brahma says, I don't know something, we have to understand nobody else can know it. Because he has got several things going in his advantage. One, he has got 4 heads. You have a 4-head, he has got 4 heads. Think about it. Not only do you have a 4-head, with his 4 heads, he is the one who wrote your script upon your forehead. He is standing head and shoulders over you. You simply cannot touch him. Not only that, his wife is Vani, Vagdevi, Saraswati, Brahma Vidya Swarupini, the goddess of all knowledge is his wife. Take a look at your wife. And then don't say anything about it though. Just take a look, don't say anything. If you value your health and well-being, just keep quiet. Take a look and keep quiet. Brahma's knowledge can be credited because of his wife. Apna we can... ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಶೊಲ್ನು ಮನ್ ಕಿಂ ಬಹುನೋಗ್ತೇನ. So you can feel comforted in your ignorance. Brahma's jnana is only because of Saraswati, then my ignorance is because of my Ati Saraswati. My Ati Vati then you don't know. So if Brahma says, I do not know something, then nobody else can know. Trilokyam, in all the 3 worlds, Bhagavane, who can know you? Who can understand what you are going to do? Kwa, where, katam, how, kati, how many or how long, kada, when, iti vistarayan kridasi yogamayam. You are simply playing about. All questions related to you will only remain questions with no answers. Not so. Not at all so. This is only for those who are using 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 heads to understand him. You shouldn't use your head to understand him. There is another place where he is revealed. Heart. Bhagavan is not at all an unknowable entity. Bhagavan can be known. He reveals himself to you. Who does he reveal himself to? Not to the intelligent one. Na medaya. Upanishade cholradu. Na medaya. Not because you are intelligent. You cannot understand him because you are intelligent. He is not a scientific principle for you to understand by using your intelligence. He is an experience. And he is an experience that can be had by you only when he decides to give you himself as an experience. He reveals himself to you. When will he reveal himself to you? He should be incentivized enough to reveal himself to you. What is the greatest and the best incentive? Love is the incentive. Prema is the incentive. Because of prema, he opens his mouth and reveals the universes to Yashoda. Ko veti bhuman bhagavan paramatman yogeshwara uti bhavadastrilokyam Kvava, katamva, kativa, kadeti, vistarayan, kridasi yogamaya. You're summa playing in your yogamaya. Who can understand you? Ajnana sanyau bhavabandha mokshau Dvau nama nanyausta ritagnya bhavat ajasra chityatmani kevale pare vicharyamane tarana vivahani. Bandha and moksha are two words that we often use, bondage and liberation. Brahma says those two words only arise because they do not know you. Ajnana sanyau bhavabandha mokshau. Bhavabandha, bondage in this samsara, and moksha, liberation from this. Both are words of ignorance. Both are words of ignorance. Dvau namau nanyau ritagnya bhavat. Because these two words arise only because they do not know you. If they know you, then what bondage is there? What liberation is there? When there is no bondage, who is going to talk about liberation? பத்தன்னான் என்னும் மட்டே பந்தமுக்தி சிந்தனைகள். Bhagavan, Ramana Bhagavan says in Ulladhanarpadu, Badhan nan ennum matte bandhamukti chintanaigal. If as long as I consider myself as bound Badhan, then Bandha and Mukti are there. What Bhagavan doesn't say is Bhaktan nan ennum matte na Badhan nan. Bhaktan nan Shulupten. Apo bandhan enna, moksham enna. What bandha is there? What moksha is there? These concepts don't apply. That is the state of bhakti. Apo freedom is a given. Moksha is a given. They are not even going to be bothered about seeking for that moksha. Atapite Devapadambujadvaya prasada leshanugrihita yevahi janati tattvam bhagaval mahimno nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. All said and done, even if somebody is able to understand this truth, it is only because it comes because of that trace of grace from you. Prasada lesha anugrihita evahi. Uru lesha, uru tivilai. A small little bit of grace from you, if you should fall upon a person, immediately he becomes enlightened. Even if he sits, ekopi chiram vichinvan, even if he is sitting and doing vichara for a long time in solitude, he will not attain it. One drop of your grace. Arulum venume, anbu poonume. Ramana Bhagavan sings in Atmavidya Kirtanam. Ayye ati sulabham, Atmavidya ayye ati sulabham. Atmavidya is very easy, Brahmavidya is very easy to attain. For when? Arulum venume. When you have grace, it is very easy to attain. When will you have grace? Anbu poonume. When you have anbu, when you have pure prema for him, then grace descends upon you. Once grace descends upon you, what cannot be had? Jnanam terit arul arunachala. Bhagavan says, Jnanam terit arul arunachala. Simply sprinkle jnana upon me, arunachala. Sprinkle. Terit. When water is taken and sprinkled on all of you, each one will get a drop, isn't it? That's all. That drop is enough. Jnanam terit arul arunachala, Bhagavan says. A little drop of jnana is enough, of grace is enough for me. That little drop can take me to the highest state without any great effort. So, all in all, Brahma wants to conclude. He wants to say this much I want to say. Say to you, Krishna. Tadastu mena tasa bhuri bhago bhavetra vanyatra tuva trirascham yena hamekopi bhavajjanalam bhutva nisheve tava pada pallavam. Tadastu mena tasa bhuri bhaga. Let it be my great fortune, Natha, O Lord, let this be my great good fortune. Bhave atrava anyatratu tiraschamyena, here or somewhere else, or even in the form of animals, it doesn't matter. Even if I have to be born here in Vrindavanam or elsewhere, or even as an animal, it is fine. Yenaham ekopi bhavajjananam, whatever may be the case, let me always be considered as one of yours. Bhavajjananam. Let me be Brahma, let me be a man, let me be an animal, let me be born any which way. But one thing I always say, even I should be a dog, I should be your dog. If I should be Brahma, you should always say my Brahma. You say my Brahma, I am happy to be Brahma. You say who Brahma? No, I don't want to be Brahma. Aho tidanya vrajago ramanyaha stanyamritam pitam ativate muda yasam vibo vatsatara atmajatmana yatruptaye adye pinachalam madvaraha. How fortunate are these women, these mothers of Vrindavanam, of these Vraja. Aho atidanya. Aho atidanyaha, they are extremely fortunate. Vrajago Ramanya, Vrajago, the cows of Vraja and the ladies of Vraja are so fortunate because Bhagavane, you drank their milk. In the form of the calves, he drank the milk of those cows. In the form of the boys, he drank the milk both of the cows as well as the mothers. What great good fortune you have bestowed upon them. Because what has happened as a result, Bhagavan was satisfied now. Pitam ativa te muda. You became extremely happy. You became extremely satisfied after receiving their milk. They have managed to make you happy. Yasam vibho vatsatara atmajatmana yatrupyate adyapinacha alamadvaraha. Even though there are people that are performing so many yajnas and so many yagas and so much tapas, they have still not managed to satisfy you. But these women and these cows have satisfied you. They have made you happy. What more is left for them to achieve in their lives? Actually, think about it. Making him happy is the aim of life, is the goal of. When he is happy, when you have somehow, you do not know how, but somehow you managed to make him happy. What? How did you become happy, Swami? What was it? What was there for you to become so happy? And I am so happy. I am satisfied. I am happy in Uttar. What is left in life to achieve? After that, what is the rest of life for? The goal, the purpose of life is already accomplished. Now what? Now keep making me happy. Now keep making me happy. Aho bhagyam Nanda gopa vrajaukasan yanmitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. Brahma is saying aho bhagyam, great fortune, great good fortune. Yarga Nandagopa Vrajogasan, all these village habitats, village inhabitants of Nandagopa's habitat. It's very important to stress upon this. Very, very important. Because they in every way, they were unrefined, uncultured, they knew nothing of the Shastras, they did not know all the Vedanta, Jnana and so on. They are supposed to be illiterate, they knew nothing. Uncouth. Brahma included everybody. He says, Aho bhagyam Nanda Gopa Vrajaukasan. What great good fortune. What we didn't. With all our education, we have not attained it. With all our culture, we have not attained it. With all our wealth, we have not attained it. With all our tapasya, we have not attained it. How is it that they are so fortunate? Yan mitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. That Supreme Brahman has befriended them. That Supreme Brahman has not forgotten. How can it forget itself? How can it forget itself? Fully knowing who he is placing one hand around this fellow, one hand around this fellow. Come on, let's go playing around. Brahman. Yen mitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. Will we get to all these things? Tad bhuri bhagyam iha janma kimappi atavyam yad gokulepi katamangri rajobhishekam yad jeevitam tu nikilam bhagavan mukundaha adyapi padaraja shruti mrigyameva. When I look at all these inhabitants of Raja, then people like me, Brahma or Shiva and all the Devas, etc., all of us will only feel jealous of these people. All of us will think what a great good fortune it will be for us if we also were born in Vrindavana. Even if it is a blade of grass, it is fine. Kimappyatavyam. Katamangri rajobhishekam. Somehow or the other, we also can be bathed by the dust of the feet of any of your devotees. What a great good fortune it will be for us. And Gadadhar Children, he says, he's got a question. He says, I have a doubt, Bhagavan, my mind is bewildered. These people of Raja have handed over to Yesham Gosha Nivasinam Utabhavan Kim Devarate Tinacheta Vishwa Palat Phalam Twadparam Kritapyayal Muhyati Sadveshadiva Putana Pisakula Twameva Deva Pita Yaddamarta Suhrita Priya Atma Tanaya Pranashayaha Tvatkrite. And my mind is bewildered when I think about what are you going to reward these people of Raja with. Because when Putana came in the form of a good person, you gave her moksha. She only came to kill you. She came with nefarious intentions, malicious intentions, and she came to you in a good form, disguising herself. For disguising herself, you gave her moksha. Now, what are you going to give to these people who have surrendered unto you? Dhamma, homes, artha, wealth, suhrit, friends, priya, relatives, atma, bodies, tanaya, children, prana, life itself, ashayaha, their hearts to you. They've given everything to you. What are you going to give them? How are you going to reward them? Highest thing you've given away, what are you going to give to them? Bhagavan says later on, Bhagavan is going, they are my people. I belong to them. Bhagavan is going to say, I belong to them. Not to Brahma. He's not going to talk to Brahma at all. That's very unique. When the Brahma goes on and on, see how long the stuti has been going. Bhagavan doesn't open his mouth. The whole time, Brahma finishes all his, finally seeing that Bhagavan is not willing to speak to him, he says, shall I take leave? Brahma came with such great eagerness. In the end, Bhagavan doesn't speak a word to him. Later on, Indra will come. After having poured rain for 7 days, Indra will come. Bhagavan will speak to Indra at that time. Big discourse Bhagavan will give him. But Brahma, Bhagavan will not speak anything. Why does he not speak? Some people have suggested certain interpretations for it. When we look at Indra's story, I will tell you at that time. Janantu eva janantu. Brahma is going to say, Janantu eva janantu. Jananta eva janantu. Kim bahuktaya name prabho. Manaso vapusho vacho bhaivavam tavagochara. Those who know, those who claim to know you, let them claim to know. Who can know you? Who can understand you completely? Muzhudai unaldavar yaro sai unnai Muzhudai unaldavar yaro sai unnai Muzhudai unaldavar yaro sai. Who has known you completely, oh Lord? Who has been able to understand you completely? Who can put their minds to say, I know him? Jananta eva jananta. Jananta eva jananta kim bahuktaya name prabho. What is the use of me talking a lot? I do not know. When I don't know, what can I say? Therefore 38 verses, 39, 37, 39 verses he is chanted. Then he says, those who claim to know, they know what is there for me to say anymore. Bhagavan has kept quiet. Bhagavan hasn't opened his mouth. He's watching. Bhagavan is watching. Bhagavan is not happy. You took away those boys from me. They are my boys. What right did you have to take them away from me? Bhagavan Bhagavan is not talking to Brahma. He's keeping quiet. If you come and separate him from his devotees, Bhagavan will never tolerate it. These boys were his boys. He was playing happily with them. Then all of a sudden, for one whole year, these boys have missed that opportunity with him. Bhagavan didn't like it. Hey, Brahma, how dare you? Because you have 4 heads, huh? Bhagavan did not even open his mouth to say anything to him. Verse after verse, Brahma is trying to get Bhagavan to say one thing at least. Vedantically he is speaking, Bhakti he is speaking. He is trying to flatter Bhagavan by saying these Nandagopa people are so lucky. Nothing. Bhagavan is unrelenting. He is simply watching everything. So in the end he says, Jananta eva janantu. Kim bahuk tayana me prabho. What is the use of many words, Bhagavan? You are not happy to speak to me. Fine. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. I know this much, I cannot understand you. I thought I'll understand you, I wanted to understand you, but I give up. Anujani himam Krishna, sarvam tvam veci sarvadrik, tvameva jagatam nato, jagadedattavarpitam. This world that I have created, I offer to you. You know everything. Please permit me to leave now. Sri Krishna Vrishnikula Pushkara Joshadhayilna, Shma Nirjara, Dvijapashudadi Vriddikarilna, Uddharmasharvara Harakshitirakshashadrika Kalpam, Arkam Arhan Bhagavan Namaste. O Krishna, who have taken an incarnation in order to rid the world of evil, I salute you, I surrender to you, let me take leave. He went around Bhagavan 3 times, prostrated to him and left. Bhagavan didn't speak a word, sent him off. Now all the boys are brought. Where are they? Here is the great reversal of time and space. 1 whole year had elapsed. All the boys, Krishna in the form of all the boys and the calves had come to graze at the slopes at the bottom of Govardhana, foothills of Govardhana. Isn't it? Then the cows come running down. All that has happened, 1 whole year has elapsed. And they are now in a different spot. Where they had their picnic was by Yamuna, where Agasura was. Here now they are in the foothills of Govardhana. But when Brahma restores the boys and the calves, what happens? All of them are there. Krishna says, Krishna has come back. The boys are all still sitting in the exact same arrangement in which they were sitting, food in their hands. Krishna is coming back with the morsel of food in his palm of his hand, and all the boys have say, Atiram Masa, hey Krishna, you've come so quickly. Come, let us sit and eat. You had to go away without eating Leya Pavon Cholitagala. Because remember what happened 1 year ago? Halfway through the meal, Krishna said, you all eat, let me go and see what has happened, and he has gone. 1 whole year has elapsed, but to these boys, Krishna has reversed the time. He has reversed the space. Now they are not under the foothills of Govardhana, they are here. Because Bhagavan thought, 1 year of their life without me. This Brahma interfered and he took 1 year of their life away from me. I will reverse the time, throw all of his plans throw a big mega spanner into his plans. I will reverse time and I will go back. So the whole world went back a year. We are thinking now it is 2026. Who knows? It may be still 2025. The daylight savings on we turn the clock back and suddenly we say it is now only 11:30. Actually it's 12:30 and your stomach might be growling because it's still growing with the old time. But it is now only 11:30. Because we changed. Like that, Bhagavan's turned the world clock back. Atomic clock, atomic. Anor, the atom of the atom is Krishna. And Krishna has changed time. Who knows how many other times he changed. This one we have recorded in Bhagavatam. We know 1 time at least he changed time. validity to time and space, sanctity to time and space also has gone. He is Kala Yanamaha, Kala Kala Yanamaha, Mahakala Yanamaha, Kaladarpadamana Yanamaha, Kalatita Yanamaha. He is the one who is beyond time. He is the time of time. Everything was reversed. So at this juncture, Parikshit, who's been listening to the story, asks a very important question. He asks, all the story he's been listening to, one point that was mentioned, his mind became fixated upon it. That was that the mothers loved Krishna more than their own children. And then when Krishna became their child, they felt the exact same love they would usually reserve for Krishna to their own sons also. Point. Parikshit says, how is that possible? The world over we know that their own children are the dearest to parents. They have so much love for their own children. How is it that they had more love for Krishna? When he asks, Shuka gives a beautiful Upanishadic response. An Upanishadic response that ends in Bhagavatam. The response starts off Upanishadically but ends Bhagavatamically. What is it? Upanishad says, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. A mother loves her child. Why does she love her child? If you take that pronoun out, it is just a child. But suddenly when you say her child, there is something to that. That her makes it really important. That her is what is adding that to it. If that her is taken away, it is just a child. Yes or no? I saw a very interesting article recently in news. In a country town in Victoria somewhere. Many years ago, 30 odd years ago. A child was mistakenly given over to another family. One of those test tube babies, what do they call that? IVF. Yes. One of those IVF babies. And there was a mismatch or something happened and she grew up somewhere else. And as she went on to trace her ancestry, nowadays they do that tree, Out of fun, she wanted to find her ancestral, what her roots were and something. And she found out that she was of an extraction that had nothing to do with her parents. So she became really confused. How is this possible? Is this wrong? So she went again and said, no, it is correct. Your DNA shows a certain ancestry, which has nothing to do with your current parents, with your parents. So she was surprised and she knew she was an IVF child. So she went and they started making inquiries. And New South Wales, I think, not I think. Because they came to Sydney and they found out that original clinic or whatever they went to had closed down. Those people had gone. It was so difficult to trace. Finally, she traced back. In that same town, small town, her biological family is there. And as soon as she went to their house, everybody is struck with wonder at the resemblances that were so visible, so obvious. And it created a dilemma. I was reading that. I was so interested in that because she was growing up in this family. My parents, my child, my daughter, all of that was in place. And there was no doubt about it. But biologically, she's not even your child. But what made her your child? My child made it your child. Just that pronoun made it so. It has nothing to do with reality. What is the reality here? She is of a completely different genetic makeup than the two of you. Because she's not your child at all. She's simply not your child. The DNA that made her up is not your DNA. But how can they say she's not their child? Can she also say they are not my parents? So why do we love somebody? Because we believe that they are ours. We believe, whether it has anything to do with the reality of whether they are yours or not, your belief they are yours alone is enough to create that sense of attachment to them. So, it is not them. Do you understand? Your love that you have for your child is not because of your child. In this instance, it was somebody else. If this girl was replaced by some other girl, they would have felt the same thing. It is not the child that is causing it. It is not originating from here. It is coming from you. Similarly, this girl's love for her mother and father comes from her, not because of them. They are not her parents. She thinks they are her parents, so she feels love. This Upanishad spoke about. Yajnavalkya Maharishi tells his wife, Maitreyi, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. If you like me, if you like me, if you love me, it is because you love yourself. In your mind, my husband. So, if you think of me merely to be my yes bend, toilet larkume. The toilet there is an S bend. And the sink there will be an S bend. Yeah, sometimes they are like that also. Some husbands are no different to husbands. The truth resoundingly, you can see. The reaction shows how truthful. Some husbands are no different to husbands. Some wives are no different to knives. I have to give them also something, no? Equal opportunity employer. Fair income. Everybody has a fair go. But you think mine. And so you have prema. But that prema, that love, has got nothing to do with that object in front of you. It has to do with you. It has to do with what you feel, how you feel. Here is a fan. This fan is on right now. And it is enjoyable because it is a bit warm and it is quite comfortable to have this fan on now. But suppose it is sub-zero temperatures. Would we love this fan? If this fan was on, wouldn't we scream, shut it off? So is it the fan or is it me? It's what I feel from that fan. If I'm enjoying this fan, I would love this fan. If somebody takes it away, I will say, no, please leave it here, don't take it away. If I find it terrible, I will say, can you please take it away? Please don't leave it here. So what is responsible for it? My reaction is responsible. I am responsible for it. Nothing outside is responsible. Your joys and sorrows are because of you. Your joys and sorrows are because of you. You think something is painful to you, it is so. It is so. If you think it is not painful to you, it is not so. See how unique it is. And we spoke about divorce the other day. And as long as you remain married and say my husband, my wife, you will care about the other person. But the moment that separation happens and that my goes away, you don't care what happens to that person. You're not bothered now. What has changed? That person is still the same. That person is still the same. That person hasn't changed. You are also not changed. What changed? Your perception changed. Your idea that this person is related to me, this person's joys and sorrows matter to me, that perception has changed. It no longer matters. Finished. So with all these children, the mothers thought, my child, therefore they were feeling the joy. It is not because of the child. But when it comes to Krishna, now things reverse, things change. Now the joy is because of Krishna. Krishna eva Atma, that Atma is Krishna. That Atma is Krishna. The Ramana Bhagavan says in one place, I just read it this morning, this little line from Bhagavan, where he says, if you know the self, you will know God, because God is not different to the self. Tannai thaan kaanal thalaivan thanai kaanal. Tannai thaan kaanal thalaivan thanai kaanal. Seeing yourself is seeing God. Now what is the converse of it? What is the converse of it? Thalaivan thanai kaanal, tannai thaan kaanal. Yes or no? If A is equal to B, is B not equal to A? What does the bhakta do? He sees the talaivan. He ends up seeing himself. What does the jnani do? Sees himself, ends up seeing the talaivan. Both are the same. Just starting point is different. Starting point is different. Than thanai kaanal, talaivan thanai kaanal. Because the self is God. Appa God is self. Appa Krishna is the Atma. It is because of Krishna that you like anything in this world. Meaning, because of the self. Now, when that self itself is in front of you, why will you not like it? Why will you not love it? So, this is Upanishadic statement. How does it end Bhagavatamically? Because Shuka says, the start of love and the end of love are both Krishna only. Where does prema start from? From Krishna. Where does prema end? In Krishna. What is the origin of prema? Krishna. What is the destination of prema? Krishna. I told you about how all the waters originate from the ocean. And then they go and rain everywhere and they form rivers and they all go back once again and join into the ocean. Origin of prema in this world is Bhagavan. If we feel anything called love, it is because Bhagavan has become that. Bhagavan is prema, not even to become. Bhagavan is prema. So love itself is God. When we feel love, we feel God. There is no difference between love and God. Anbe Shivam. Love itself is God. Love for God we speak about. We say, there's only a manner of speaking. Really, love itself is God. It's like Krishna herding the calves that are also Krishna. Krishna herding Krishna. Like that, we are loving God. We are loving love. Krishna me namavehitvam atmanam akilatmanam. Krishna is the Atma. Sapyatra dehi va bhati mayayam. That same Krishna is appearing as a form, but that form is the Atma. When we look at this Vigraha Rupa Krishna itself, we find so much delight. We go to a temple and we have a Guru Vairappa. If you go and stand in front of Guru Vairappa, we know it is only a small stone statue. The moment you go and stand in front of him, it's imagine, that is Atma Swarupam standing there. Imagine when that is walking and talking amidst you. Why will these gopis not love that form? So everything has taken this form of Krishna, and Bhagavan showed this truth to Brahma and to all of us also, that just as he became the cowherd boys and the calves and so on, so he has become all of this. I told you this. I said, if you want to understand this, all you have to do is look around you. This is no different to then. You are sitting around with so many people. Who are all these people? It is only that one which has become all of this. That one has become all of this. But even though that one has become all of this, that one comes in a very specialized form as Krishna. When he comes as Krishna, although he is all of this, Krishna is Krishna. That sweetness is still that sweetness. Sarveshamapi vastunam bhavartho bhavati stitaha. Tasyavi Bhagavan Krishnaha kimatad vastu rupyata. All of these objects that we see, all of the people that we see, they have as their basis, the substratum, only Krishna. So see if they are any different at all. Samashritaye padapallavam plavam. Samashritaye padapallava plavam mahatpadam punyayasho murarehe bhavam buddhi vatsa padam param padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. You know how we like to play with words? All the time we are playing with words. Shuka is playing with words here. Samashritaye pada pallava plavam pada pallava plavam mahatpadam punya yasho murarehe bhavam buddhi vatsapadam parampadam padam yad vipadam natesha. Those who have surrendered completely to these flower bud like boat called the lotus feet of the Lord. All language rules remain suspended. Because when you want to create a metaphor, language rules dictate some similarities have to exist when you're trying to create a similarity. After all, a metaphor is showing similarity. Similarities also have to have some similarities to it. The metaphor is easy to digest for you. That block of butter was as hard as stone. We think, what is this? How do we make sense of this? Butter is supposed to be soft. As soft as butter. As soft as butter is as hard as stone. It's like a confusion for you. And when it comes to this Brahman, sometimes all things fail. There is a mountain. This mountain is made up of rock. It is hard. And there was one person who looked at this mountain and lost it. So he looked at this mountain, he said, Karuna Purna Sudabdhe. Arul Niraivana Amuda Kadale. He looked at this mountain and he said, you ocean of grace. Oh, ocean of exceeding grace. The mountain says, can you not see me as a mountain? Can you not call me, oh, mountain of grace? No, because all metaphors, all similes fly out of the window when you look at divine. And language fails. Yato vacho nivartante. Language fails there. Rules and regulations cannot work. When you look at this mountain, it looks as though it is an ocean of grace. An ocean of grace. Or a mountain load of grace. It still makes sense, no? Oh, mountain of grace. This mountain looks like an ocean of grace. Arul Niraivana Amuda Kadale. So, Shuka is saying, Samashrita ye pada pallava plavam. Pada feet, pallavam na buds, plavam na raft, boat. Those who have taken refuge of the raft called the buds of your lotus feet. One thing is common. All of them have to do with water, at least that much. Lotus also grows in the water. Raft also floats upon the water. Okay. Samashritaye pada pallava plavam mahatpadam punya yasho murare bhavam buddhis vatsapadam. They will be able to, now you've made it a raft, a boat. What is this boat for? To cross a water body. So what is this water body? Bhavam buddhi, the ocean of samsara, is the water body. How are you going to cross it? By taking refuge in the raft called the lotus of the Lord's feet. And what is this ocean becoming? No. Vatsapadam. Bhavam buddhir vatsapadam. Vatsapadam. The calf is walking on wet soil. When a calf is walking on wet soil, its hooves create a depression. And as it keeps walking, the depression fills up with the moisture. Many of you may not have seen this, but those of you who have seen it can understand what I'm talking about. The soil is wet because it has rained, and the calf has walked by, and its hooves have created a tiny depression, and the tiny depression is filled up with water. Now we need a water body. Bhavam buddhi, the ocean of samsara, is reduced to the small depression filled with water made by the hoof print of a calf. Param padam, that supreme state. Padam, step by step. Yad vipadam na tesham, where there are no vipada, no distress there. So, padam, param padam, vatsapadam, padam, vipadam. So many beautiful, there is a play of words here when he's talking about prema and atma together. The sum total of this meaning is, Krishna, when we surrender to you, when we surrender to your lotus feet, they become the raft that ferry us across the samsara sagara. But then it is not a long journey. The whole long journey is condensed into a short little depression, crossing the depression created by the hoof print of a calf. And even in that short duration, padam padam, step by step, as we are crossing it free of any difficulties. It's actually an ocean. But that ocean has been reduced down into a small little depression in the soil. Hoof print, calf hoof, not even a cow. A cow will be big, calf na small. Vatsapadam. And even while we are crossing this small thing, we cross so easily without any anjastarati, without any problems we cross. Thus, Bhagavan performed this Brahma Leela where he showed to Brahma how creation happens. Ekoham bahusyam, I am one, let me become many. Creation happened. That is the metaphysical truth. Upanishadic truth is that. The same story contains the Upanishadic truth as well as this little truth that says, but if you love him and if you surrender to him, surrendering to him na, loving him na. Surrender will not happen without prema. You cannot easily give in to somebody that you do not love. Surrender means total acceptance. You no longer belong to yourself. You have given yourself over completely to him. You cannot do that except to the one whom you love and trust. Sharanagati is the end. It's not the start. It doesn't start with Sharanagati. It starts only with prema. Without prema, how can you surrender to him? When you love him so much, then you reach a point of not caring for anything. The prema that you feel for him should increase so much that you reach a point where you simply cannot be bothered about anything. All the great ones have reached that state. Meera sings Lok Laaj Koi. Have gone beyond the considerations of this world, what the people of Nalaber and Nalavidama Peshwa. We are fixated on 4, no? Tamil people especially are fixated on Nalaber, Nalavidama Peshwa. Or 4 காசு சம்பாதிக்க துப்பு இல்லைன்னா 4 பேர் 4 விதமா பேசுவா. We're fixated on 4, ஏன்னா because 4 பேர் தூக்கின்னு போகணும் முன்ன கடைசியில், அதனால தான். கல்யாணத்துக்கு 4 பேர் வரவேண்டாமா அப்படின்பா. அந்த 4 பேர் இல்லை, ஆனால் கடைசியில் ஒரு கல்யாணத்துக்கு ஒரு 4 பேர் வரணுமே. நாலு வேதம் இருக்கு தெரியும், பிரம்மாக்கு 4 முகம் இருக்கு தெரியும், நம்ம 4 4 4 எல்லாம் 4. When we surrender to him, we forget about everything, what the world has to say, what the world has to do. What do we have to do with the world? We reach a state where we have nothing to do with it, nothing in common anymore with this world. I'm in my own world, I'm lost in my own world. Bhaktas, when they get together, suddenly they find a lot in common. And when they go and see somebody else, they have nothing to speak about. Kulasekara Alvar says that in one of his pasarams. He says, he's standing there looking at the Lord. He went to Srirangam. Srirangam is this very beautiful place in the south, in Tamil Nadu, by the banks of Kaveri, where the Lord chose that spot to come and recline as a Ranganatha, the most beautiful form of the Lord, other than Krishna, next to Krishna. And Kulasekara Alvar was a king in Kerala. And he wanted to go to Srirangam. For all his life he wanted to go to Srirangam. Finally he came to Srirangam and he stood there. Looking at this Lord, he stood there, is losing himself in the beauty of this Lord. He is a king, but he's forgotten all his kingship. And he's standing there, he's becoming like a beggar, he's there in Srirangam. And all the devotees are all coming to also have darshan of the Lord. As they are going, they are seeing this king standing. Because he's a king, he's been given a separate spot. Nobody's ushering him, go out, nobody's saying to asking him to go. And a king, yeah. So VIP darshan, he's standing there and having darshan in a corner. Nobody is disturbing him, but he's looking at the Lord with eyes, tears pouring down his eyes, unable to take his eyes away from there. All the other people are, King, Kerala king. Why is he standing here like that? Paithiyam. He's lost it. He become mad. And we are also coming and worshipping the Lord. Then we go home happily and watch TV. We balance on a life. We should have, like the work-life balance, but we should have God-life balance we should have. You can't go like this little madman. Visiran. Chariyana Visiran. Only some people in the audience can understand that word. And I had to use it to. He's a madman. It's not that the Alva is not able to hear this. He's hearing it. So after he finishes darshan, finally, they had to close the temple. It's not that he wanted to come out, but they had to close the temple because Bhagavan has to take rest. So they said, please, you have to leave now. Why? Because he has to rest. Oh, in that case, I'll go. So he came out. And when he came out, all of his courtiers and his ministers, his guards, all of them are there. They all were very angry with the way the people are talking about their king. They said, they are saying all kinds of things about you. I know. They are calling you mad. I know. Should we do something about it? No. Why? Because I call them mad. How should I call them mad? They are calling me mad, but I call them mad. பேயரே யானும் யாவர்க்கும் யாவரும் எனக்கு பேயரே அப்படின்னு சொல்றார். They all call me mad, I call them mad. Why do they call me mad? They think I have left my kingdom, I have left my luxury and my wealth and my comforts, and I'm standing here looking at Sri Ranganatha. I think they have left Sri Ranganatha and they are going back into their hovels and they are into their worldly sukhas, they are into their prison cells called their house. So we have nothing in common to discuss with each other, he says. Patient. He said, what is the point of talking about this? We cannot see eye to eye. They think I am mad. I think they are mad. So let it be so. So he says, let me go and consort with other mad people. Bhayi Bavari. I have become mad. So let me go and consort with other mad people. Mad people should get together. I am best. But when such mad people get together, what happens? This happens. This happens when such mad people get together, then this happens because there is something called divine madness, God madness. And the people of the world are also equally mad. What are they mad about now? Footy vandudutunna, how mad people become, tell me. Once the footy season starts, you should see the madness. Is that not a madness? That's a madness too. If you go to India, my God, they are mad after cricket. And they are mad after this IPL. Without considering the inner profit and loss. IPL. There is an inner profit and loss that you have to consider. Instead of that, they are running behind, they are becoming mad for movies. Mad behind fashion. Whatever is the latest fashion, they have got to get it. Otherwise, how do you think Maya still keeps his doors open? With the price tag. Spring collection or fall collection, fall 2026. What is different between fall 2025 and fall 2026? Is there anything changed? Last year also we had April, this year also we have April. 21 degrees centigrade is 21 degrees centigrade, whether it is 25, 2025, 2024, 2026, it's the same thing. No? So what you need to wear for 21 degrees is the same. No, but that is last season's collection. So they are mad for that. If a new iPhone is coming, people wake up in Brahma Muhurtam and go and stand and waiting in line. Vishwarupa darshanam paakra madri pora kaarthala. Guruvayurla Vishwarupa darshanam paakradhukku ezhundu povom. Early morning darshan will be there in the temple when the temple first opens and Bhagavan. Like that they are lining up in the cold, rugging themselves up. Some of them are bringing their mattresses also. Ellam pavement la homeless mari paduthu nadakudhu. Harry Potter new book was released. You should have seen how many people became homeless because of the Bhagavaha Bhikshu Rupam Charanti appadinu varum. Brahmara Geethathila varum. Gopika says several people have become bhikshus because of Krishna appadinu. That's also a madness. This is also a madness. This is the madness that gives a joy. And they will say that their joy is their joy. Jananteva janantu. Now, who are we to say that their not is not the right joy? No, all we can say is our joy is joy. Their joy is their joy. Elena, why will they be going behind that joy? But we know this joy. And we have also seen that joy. That is the only difference. All I can say is this. It is not that we are unaware of that joy. We have been there. We have done that. And now we are here. And we realize, oh, there is something to this joy. What is this joy? Why is it that I did not have this joy previously? Why is it that none of the other experiences outside gave me the joy that this is giving me? But then we realize, then when we use our intelligence to compare and find out which joy is the real enjoy. The rest of it is end joy. This is enjoy. And then we realize and we pick this joy beyond all others. We'll stop here. Come back again at 5:30. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kashyat dukha bhavet. Loka samastah sukhino bhavantu, loka samastah sukhino bhavantu, loka samastah sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Sai Ishwararpanamastu.